Welcome. My name is Carolyn Howell. I'm the executive producer of CFN in the DMV. That's culture, fashion, news, and all things wonderful. I'm here today with an amazing creative, a dynamic businesswoman, Sonia James Pennington. And let me tell you a little bit about her. Sonia Pennington is a highly creative arts and entertainment chief executive officer with 20 plus years of experience as an entrepreneurial professional who owns, operates, and manages for profit and not for profit organizations. But more than that, Sonia in 2008 added to her entrepreneurial portfolio as co founder and executive director of Artists in Motion Performing Arts Center, where she again took the lead in business operations while creating innovative dance education programming. Additionally, she is the founder and CEO of That Which Connects, a not-for-profit for dance uh, a not-for-profit dance festival. Tongue-tied because she's got so much going on. Can we please bring Sonia in? Sonia, I cannot wait for everyone to meet you. How are you?
Hello, hello. It's so great to be here and sit down with you.
I feel exactly the same way. You're one of the people, I think we said this before, our energy matches, but I want our viewers and listeners to get to know you. First of all, I'm so impressed with the fact that you're an attorney because I love female attorneys. I just think there need to be more of them. But then you're this incredible entrepreneur who continues I want to say serial entrepreneur. Is that fair?
That's very fair. I
Okay,
take
very fair.
no insult to that. Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
great. So you've got this whole legal brainiac part of your life that goes on, but on top of that, you're an amazing creative. Tell us what inspired you and got you started both in law, and then we want to know all about that which connects and the other things that you're doing.
Well, it's interesting that you asked that question. I get that question asked a lot, especially for young people, because when they meet me, they usually meet me in either one of the worlds that I answer. So I started actually as a gymnast, and I spent my whole life being a gymnast. And when I went to Rutgers, I was kind of burnt out. I was a competitive gymnast and I was burnt out. I said, I don't want to do this anymore. But then I fell in love with dancing, and the transition from being a gymnast to a dancer and having that just creative freedom was amazing. It was mind blowing. So the funny story is, I needed a job. And I went to an interview for a studio for a part time job, and boom, my career path shifted. And I started teaching and choreographing. But how I was raised, that was not a career option. That's no way. That's what you do as your
Wow.
pastime, but you do not have a career. So I continued on to law school. I graduated from Rutgers, and I went to law school. But I had such a drive and a passion that I literally would go to school in Philadelphia, and then literally 5 days a week I would drive back up to New Brunswick area and teach and choreograph, and then take classes in the city in New York City. I just couldn't give it up. I couldn't quit. I just loved it so much. And so I
Okay,
went to
so
law
wait a
school.
minute. First of all, the gymnast. What kind of awards or accolades or accomplishments did you accomplish as a gymnast? Because that's really tough and that is rigorous training. And I'm trying to figure out where you had time to fit this other piece. You said it so quickly. You were that gymnast that was really
So
practicing really hard.
yeah, so I grew up competitive gymnastics. So in high school we were state champions, and I did it all through high school. And it's rigorous. It's hard. It's a hard
Yes.
sport. It's very hard on the body. It's very hard on the minds. There's not a lot of women of color, so it can be isolating. So, and it's just very structured. And I didn't know at the time that what I was battling was that structure, because I didn't realize I was a creative. I knew I was a good student, and I was athletic, but that creative piece never really entered into the formula until I was at college and I was able to dance. And it was everything came together, you know, the structure, the physicality, all of that came together in dance. And it was literally like my eyes opened to this world that I was immediately sucked into, immediately. And, but as I said, you know, being a lawyer is a coveted and respected career path. And I was a good student. So it was just an easy transition that everyone kind of pushes you into. And as I said, being an artist is hard. You know, everyone thinks of artists as struggling. You know, that's the adjective that
That
people use
that
when they
is
refer to artists.
exactly, struggling
You
artist.
know, and
If I don't see you, if I don't
yes,
see
right.
you on the big screen, you're a struggling artist. That's how we say it. That's how we're comfortable saying it.
Absolutely. And that is the mindset. Even now, that's the mindset. But the reality is that there are so many options for creatives. And I happen to be blessed to fall into the business aspect of being able to bring my artistic side and my creative side together. And that's why I say, you know, I emphasize that I'm an arts entrepreneur or an entrepreneur. You know, put the art and an entrepreneur together because
Entrepreneur.
there really is
Wow.
entrepreneur. Yes, there's no difference for me. It's all one. And that's what the beauty of my journey has been, finding the synergy between both of them. And it's funny because it started early. So as I started saying, you know, I went to law school. I graduated. I knew I didn't want to practice. I remember my law school essay um, was about how this was going to be a stepping stone. And I wish I could find this
Are you
essay.
serious?
I don't know if I could go back to. I seriously, I wish I could go back to time. I was like, do you archive, you know, applications and essays? I wish I could find it because I remember writing this because I knew that law school and being a lawyer was not what I wanted in my heart, but I knew that was the vehicle for whatever. I didn't know what it was at that point. But I knew it was something and I knew that I needed it. So I went to law school and I did well. You know, I was a good student. But I think during that time, I was able to develop a passion, which was dance, and more specifically, choreography. I didn't really have a drive to perform per se. I loved the creative side of dance and choreography. So, and I think that's because of my, you know, my two-sided brain. It fit well to create. I'm a creator by nature. I love to create things, and I think moving into even the business aspect, that's why I love business because you're creating something from nothing.
Okay, you're
You know,
making
you take.
everything you're making everything so artistic. I'm listening to you. You're even so you figure out an artsy way of figuring out that business is creating, and I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, not at all. Yes, it is. It's an idea that you bring to life. It's a concept. It's a concept that you know, envision up here and you take the steps to bring it to life. And that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur is that you literally birth something. And that's the same as being a choreographer. And I think that's why my two worlds comes together so beautifully because I understand that concept and that path. And so for instance, um, I practiced law. I, you know, I had a really strong career. I was in the Attorney General's office for the state of New Jersey. I was doing insurance fraud. I was a trial attorney. And as most people know, if
Well,
you work for the yes, if you work for the state, you get thrown in. Like it's an amazing learning experience for attorneys, young attorneys. Um, so I did that. Civil insurance fraud, farthest from anything that now is me. But it was a great experience. And it allowed me to definitively say, this is not for me. And to do it in a way that I knew because I experienced it rather than just saying it. I think that allows for no regret because you experience it. You know what it really means. But I I did understand that this was something that I needed and it was going to be an important tool, but it was going to be out of the box of what is normally thought of as an attorney. And that's been my career. It's out of the box. It's really like nothing else that I know that people experience or do. And I think that's what makes it so exciting and every day different, and allows me not to be scared of new opportunities, whether it's in the arts or it's in business. I really thrive in new things, in new environments, in seeing an idea go from concept to fruition. I love that process. Um,
I love to hear you saying that.
it's
And one
just,
of the
it's just,
things there's a figure of
go
speech
ahead.
that you use often that says, I'm processing. If I mention something to you, say, let me process that. And I love it. And now I get it because you're bringing together that talented side with that analytical, digging deep kind of attorney side. I just want to know, are there any other attorneys in your family?
No, no, there aren't any actually.
That's
No,
what I'm
I'm
thinking.
just,
So
some
you made
doctor.
you made it.
I have educators.
I would have thought, just based on hearing you, that you were an attorney from a family full of attorneys, and that was the path that you were supposed to go. And you said it's a sought after and respected career. Normally, for most people, once they get to be an attorney, that's what they want to be. But knowing that you knew in law school it wasn't what you want it to be, that's amazing. But we're going to do it because you're a good student. You're going to check that box. So you made the attorney, and now you're using those skills. So I am dying to ask you, because as the more I talk to you, I see how your life is connected, and you have something going that is called That Which Connects. Tell us about that.
That which connects. It is truly, truly my passion project. That which connects is a nonprofit. Started in 2012. I had been teaching dance to mostly children for 15 years. And I was getting to the point where I felt like I needed creatively to step out and to try something new. Um, and so I formed That Which Connects because I had started a dance company, which was actually called Introspective Movement Project. And it was a place where I was able to work with professional dancers and set pieces. And we traveled, we did festivals, we did performances. But it was really hard to break into that commercial um, dance world. And so I decided, again, when there is an opportunity, you create it. And so I started That Which Connects, and it's a dance festival. And so year
Where is
one,
it?
it really was just, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Where is it held? The dance
It is
festival.
held in Camden. It's in Camden, New Jersey. I partner with Rutgers University campus, so we do it on campus. And it's a wonderful opportunity to bring young artists together with professionals and give them the opportunity not only to perform, but also to be involved in a 5-day intensive, working with the very artists that they then perform with on stage. So we have about, in the last years, we've brought about 25 young artists from the age of 13 to 18. They spend close to a week with us taking workshop classes and training in a widespread, diverse styles of dance, from jazz and hip hop to contemporary to ballet. We've also done some cultural dances like bachata, and we've done African dance. And so every day they spend the bulk of the day taking class. I tap into my network of professional dance friends and I say, hey, will you come out? And most of them volunteer and they gladly come. We do have a really strong emphasis of asking dancers of color to come out. And because a lot of times young dancers, even non-dancers of color really don't experience professional dancers of color. It's not something that's as widespread. So for them to be hands-on and to experience an hour and a half, 2 hours in their presence, it's so inspiring for them. And it takes their commitment and their passion to a whole another level. And they're able to touch they're able to touch these professionals, and the impact is amazing. And so what they do is after they've taken the classes, they spend the rest of their afternoon in rehearsal with me. I get the honor and privilege of setting a piece for them, and they become a professional dance company for for that week. And they perform in the festival along with, 10
Fantastic.
to 20 professional companies. It's so awesome. From New York to Virginia, we've had professional companies come out. We've had dancers come as far as St. Louis to stay, Virginia, Maryland, DC, New York, out, further out in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and it's an amazing, amazing experience. We've it's just every season it grows and grows and grows, and the excitement just mounts. And we are so excited even now because during the pandemic, as you know, the arts community was hit. We
Yeah,
couldn't do what we
absolutely.
love. We just couldn't. We were shut. So during my hiatus, both for my, that which connects, also my dance competition that I own and run, we couldn't operate. We had to shut down. I was going crazy. Like, what do I do with this much time? I'm a creator. Like, I should be doing something. And out of that time and space, I was able to birth her story in 12 bars, which
Wow.
is our newest project, which is an independent. Yeah. So it's a
So her
lot. It's a
story is,
lot. It's a lot
please,
going on.
please tell us what her story is in 12 bars, and just what is it?
Okay. So her story in 12 bars. I'm so excited about this project for a couple of reasons. One primary is that I got to work with my sister, Stephanie James Harris, PhD. She has a doctorate in African American history and is the former director of the Homicide Commission for the state of New Jersey.
Wow.
She now is a consultant. So she brought the history of the African American experience through the perspective of woman, and I brought the creativity of dance to that. And so we came together, and as I said, dynamic, mighty duo. We told the story of African American women from being taken from Africa all the way up to this current point through 12, as we like to say, love stories. And we fashioned it as in the history of our Grots, who told stories through song and dance and poetry and spoken word. And we used that model as the vehicle to tell the stories of 12 times different segments in history through 12 individual women's lives. And what that represented as a African American woman, how we transcended, how we changed, but our stories were all the same, meaning our
Wow.
struggles, even though right now we're not experiencing those same struggles, they're a part of us and they define us in such a way that it should give us courage and confidence and boldness and the ability to stand on the shoulders of strength and fortitude. So it's her story in 12 bars. But the beauty of it that came together, and I have to tell you, this is what I'm really excited about the project. There was four of us. It was myself, my sister, Fola, who is the soloist through all 12 pieces, and our
Wow.
videographer, just the four of us did the entire project. It's an hour-long
I did
film.
not realize that. I
And
actually got to watch it, and I just thought, wow, first of all, powerful but deep. To me, that's how it felt.
thank you.
So, wow.
Thank you. Yes.
So
And Fola is the
where
soloist through all.
and I didn't realize that either. So let me ask you, where can people view this? How can they get in touch if they are running schools or they have organizations? How or some other outlet? How can people find out about this film and get a chance to view it?
Yes, yes, yes. That's a great question. Thank you. Thank you. Because that's what we want to do. That is the phase we are in now. We are reaching out to organizations, professional organizations, schools, colleges, because we really have seen how powerful her story in 12 bars can be as a learning tool. We, with my assistants, with the assistance of my sister, we've developed curriculum. We've been able to go into schools and do week-long programs with their dance departments or their history departments. We've connected with different school counselors who have put programs together to talk about the emotional and psychological aspects of the film and how that can relate and get young women talking about their own experiences as it relates to the film. So if you're interested, you can go to our website at thatwhichconnectscamden.com. And
That which
we have a
connects.
full page. Yes, thatwhichconnectscamden.com. And you can reach out to us. And we will love to come out to your organization. We have partnered with the local chapter here of Links Incorporated, and we've done programming with them and done viewing of our film there. We've done so many wonderful, I've met so many wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people through this who have, of all ages, which is so exciting too, because it really can touch and move people at so many different stages of their lives, cross so many different cultural barriers, that ignites and starts really meaningful conversations. We've also started doing some diversity and inclusion training via the film, is sparking conversations about what it means to be marginalized, what it means to be an activist, what it means to just to have and be experienced the history of being an African American woman in a way that is different than just a conversation or that you get through a book. There is something so innately beautiful about the ability of dance to touch here in the heart, that can tell
Wow.
stories that words can't express. And that's the beauty of Her Story in 12 Bars. And we're just so excited to have people to have experience it and use it as a tool. So we are open for whomever, how people envision to use it. We're like, yes, we want to partner with
Love
that.
it.
Yes, we love that idea. Let's expand it in this
I
way or
love it.
that way. Absolutely.
Well, I am super
Absolutely.
excited.
It's exciting.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the fact that all of your energy, you continue. It's one thing, that you mentioned that this is a passion project for you because it touches you deeply, but being able to spread your creativity and then use your network to get this out, I think that's amazing. So once again, thatwhichconnectscamden.com. And I've got to ask you in the last
Yes.
minute that we have here, when is the next dance festival? When's the date for that? Do we
It's
have one on the
coming in
book?
this August. We don't have a
August
specific date, but we
28th?
do it in August. Look out for
Awesome.
the dates. If you go on our website and follow us on social media, we will post. It will be this August. And what's exciting news is we are taking the film, and we've been awarded some grants to make it from film to